Yeah, MMA is not a good system for self-defense. And I know a lot of y'all are going to disagree with me. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why I believe that MMA is a subpar system for what we call self-defense. What's going on? I'm Coach Anthony of More Than Human Fitness, and I am a mixed martial arts fighter of about 14 years. I've had my first mixed martial arts fight in 2011. I've been studying martial arts themselves since I was 4 years old. So I'm going on business years old. I believe that MMA is not good for what we call self-defense. That has to take into account what self-defense actually is. In order for something to be a good self-defense system, it has to meet 3 criteria. Number 1, it has to deal with getting out of a situation in 10 seconds or less. I believe if a fight goes over 10 seconds, it's no longer a violent encounter, it's a match. And if you have not attracted enough attention and or got away from the situation long enough, fast enough in 10 seconds or less, then you're probably doing something wrong. You and that person just need to call it a day. 2, it has to be able to deal with force multipliers. Now, force multipliers are guns, knives, blunt objects, things of that nature. If you're in a art that does not have a way to deal with those effectively in 10 seconds or less, then it's failing in that criteria. And number 3, it has to be able to deal with multiple attackers at once. If your art does not have a way for you to be able to address multiple attackers at once, well enough, efficiently enough to get help or to get away. I didn't say you had to beat them. To get help and or get away, then it's not a good self-defense system. If you think about it, MMA only hits about maybe one of those, and that is beating somebody in 10 seconds or less. If you don't train in anything and you go up against somebody who does MMA, more than likely you're going to get your ass handed to you. You're going to get choked out, you're going to get beat up, whatever, 10 seconds or less. So it meets that criteria if you're fighting against someone who doesn't know what they're doing. But there isn't a system of MMA as far as cage fighting goes that deals with a way to take a gun, defend yourself against someone with a gun, or defend yourself against someone who's trying to stab you, or defend against somebody who's trying to swing a bat at you. There's no system for that. There's also no system for how to deal with multiple opponents. Because when you think about it, MMA is a mano-a-mano thing. Y'all are meeting in the center of an octagon or a ring, and y'all are making it known that you and I are shooting the fair one. Now, if you go against somebody on the street, you're still kind of shooting the fair one in this regard, because most times a violent interaction between most men happen because of a disagreement. Say you stepped on somebody's shoe, or you bumped into somebody, or at a club or out somewhere, and something happened where maybe you cut them off in traffic and you get out of your car and y'all start squaring off. That's still shooting the fair one, mano a mano. You see it, I see it. No one has surprised anybody. They haven't snuck up behind them and hit them in the back of the head. It's not a dark night where you're just coming out, you're robbing them. It's shooting the fair one. And that is when MMA skills become the most apparent. And I'll say it like this, because there's a funny story about a guy I used to train underneath of. I don't ever train underneath him anymore, and I'm sorry I ever trained underneath of him. But this was years ago when we all make mistakes when we're younger. He was an accomplished MMA fighter at another gym, and I think he had actually just won his fight that had been like maybe 2 months ago or something like that. He got jumped by 3 people and got the shit beat out of him. Can he fight? He could absolutely fight. I'd sparred with him enough times. I knew he could fight. But because MMA is a bad self-defense system, it did not prepare him to get jumped by 3 different people. That is just one case of many where, like, if you're not prepared for this event, the situation, then it's not going to help you. However, there are many traditional martial arts that teach you how to defend yourself against all 3. My favorites are karate and kung fu. Believe it or not, there are many different ways in kung fu to disarm somebody with a knife, to disarm somebody with a gun. Teach it in my self-defense system of combatives, how to get in and move circular and get close and batter and do all this types of stuff and work to use people's clothing and stuff like that. That's not taught in MMA. However, that is taught in judo. That is taught in karate. That is taught in kung fu. How to manipulate certain aspects and move in a way to win a situation in 10 seconds or less. And this is why I say, if you train MMA and you think that's going to save you in a violent altercation against 3 different people or against a gun, it's not going to save you. It's not. It's actually ill-equipping you. I would say to somebody, if you want to learn a self-defense art, find a traditional martial art. If self-defense is your goal, you're not looking to fight in the ring or the cage, you want to learn something for self-defense, learn a traditional martial art. Not fucking Taekwondo. Never Taekwondo. Maybe something like Goju-Ryu Karate, Shito-Ryu Karate. Not Kyokushin. Kyokushin is too close to kickboxing and Muay Thai. Maybe take up something like Hunggar, Chinese Kung Fu. You could take up military combatives. Not Krav Maga. Never Krav Maga. These traditional styles are going to teach you to be in 10 seconds or less and end a fight in 10 seconds or less, or just escape and get help. That is the goal of self-defense. Not to knock somebody out, not to be the biggest, baddest, Adrian, I did it, on the block. No, your goal is to get help or get the fuck away in 10 seconds or less, especially if you're a woman. I'm Coach Anthony of More Than Human Fitness, and if you like today's video, make sure that you subscribe. We're going into the new year, and I didn't hit 10K by the end of this year, but with you all's help, I can hopefully meet that goal within the next 3 months of getting to 10K. If you like these videos, make sure that you click the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell to stay up to date. We're going to be bringing you a lot of things in the new year. I'm trying to pump out at least 2 videos each week. So with y'all's help, I'll stay motivated with that. On top of that, if you want me to talk about something specific, maybe you saw a cool video, or maybe you saw a self-defense video, maybe you saw somebody get knocked out in your neighborhood, send me that video. All of my contact information will be in the link bio below. I'll see y'all next year. Or if you're seeing this in the year, see you. Happy New Year.
This is where you gotta push past your limits. If you don't, then your path ends here.